It can't podcast all the time. It's Harmless Phosphorescence. Everyone, caw, bang, fuck, I'm dead. It's Thoreau Smiley. I am joined by...
Hey, I'm Josh Cece, and I brought a knife to a crow fight.
I'm Brian Lesh. Adjust the brightness on your television set. This movie is dark.
Abashed the Alaric Weber stood and felt how awful goodness is.
And this is Harmless Phosphorescence.
Fucking dark.
The podcast where we watch every theatrically released, full-length, live-action superhero movie ever made. We gather some research into the production and the source material, then we tell you all about it. This week, we are watching The Crow.
People once believed that when someone dies, a crow carries their soul to the land of the dead. But sometimes, just sometimes, the crow could bring that soul back to put the wrong things right.
You're all going to die.
Is that gasoline I smell?
Victims, aren't we all?
The Crow. Ooh, had to wait for that sub.
That's an intense trailer.
Yeah, with very few words. It works great in podcasts. The Crow, released May 13th, 1994. With a running time of 102 minutes. Let's play Top 10 of the Week.
Ooh, all right.
All right, so fellas, The Crow, where did this premiere? May 13th, 1994.
3.
We have 3 from Josh.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rock and roll bands in here, man.
There are.
I'm going to say number 1.
Al?
Wow. Okay, I was gonna go with number 1, but I'll
We got some high rollers.
I'll go with number 2. I think this was the time for this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I remember it being popular.
Okay, guys, we are locked. Everything we do on this podcast is very official. Number 10, Clean Slate, starring Dana Carvey.
Oh, yeah, I remember that movie. I used to watch that all. No, I don't remember that at all.
It's where he had amnesia, and then like he pretended to be a bunch of different people.
He carried around a chalkboard.
Yeah.
Clean slate.
Number 9, Cops and Robersons.
Whoa, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Chevy Chase.
Yeah, well,
Jesus.
Number 8, Threesome, a movie I do not know what that is.
oh.
I assume.
I think Robert Downey Jr. was in that.
Was it?
It's like a romantic comedy.
Okay, that makes sense.
Ladies.
All right. If anyone can tell me this one, No Escape, number 7.
No, I don't know.
Anybody?
No clue.
No Escape. Okay. Number 6, Three Ninjas Kick Back.
Ooh. That was still on the charts last movie we did.
I love that movie.
Number 5, Four Weddings and a Funeral.
Oh, that was big.
Number 4, With Honors, Brendan Fraser. Is Jewish? Is that what that was? That one?
No, that's School Ties.
Oh, that's right.
Either one of us is right, or
With honors, I don't think he gets beat up in a shower. I think he just graduates with honors.
either one of us is right, or none of us is right.
That's right. Number 3, Crooklyn.
Oh, Crooklyn. Spike Lee joint.
That's right. Number 2, When a Man Loves a Woman, which means The Crow debuted at number 1.
Wow, Alan Bryan.
What do I win?
No, you win the Crow.
Yes.
The respect of millions.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes.
you guys are good guessers.
That's why I'm here.
Al,
Simple number game.
this was actually a comic book before it was a movie.
Yes, it was.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
I had forgotten about that, and I'm glad I looked into it because, yeah, it turns out. The Crow was created by James O'Barr, illustrator and writer. O'Barr enlisted in the Marines in 1978. While stationed in Germany, he illustrated military combat manuals. He started working on The Crow in 1981 as a means of dealing with the death of his fiancée at the hands of a drunk driver, which occurred before he entered the Marines. O'Barr was further inspired by a Detroit newspaper account of the murder of a young couple over a $20 engagement ring.
Ooh.
After his discharge from the Marines, O'Barr continued painting and illustration as well as doing various odd jobs, including work in a Detroit body shop. The Crow sat on a shelf for 7 years until O'Barr finally found a publisher at Caliber Comics. He started work on it in 1981, and it wasn't until 1989 that it appeared. The Crow's first in-story appearance was in Caliber Presents #1 in January 1989.
When it's the first issue and it's like Caliber Presents, do you think like who is Caliber and why are they presenting anything?
Yeah.
The story in Caliber Presents #1 was titled Inertia and served as a prequel to the character's first limited series. That limited series, The Crow, numbers 1 through 4, was released in February through May of 1989. In the story, Eric and his fiancée, Shelley, are assaulted by street thugs after their car breaks down. Eric is shot and paralyzed and can only watch as Shelley is beaten, raped, and finally shot in the head. Eric later dies in the hospital. Shelley died before in the comics. Eric is resurrected by a supernatural crow endowed with enhanced strength and reflexes.
The Crow is?
Probably. Yeah, probably.
Both crows.
Yeah, they're both.
Did they should have had labels or names. Little Crow, Big Crow.
Little Crow and Big Crow, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, I have a question about that, actually. Is the title of the film referring to him? Is he the Crow, or is this just about the Crow?
We're following that crow.
I know. So, like, which is it? Is he actually named the Crow?
There are other Crow movies, right?
There are, yes.
So we should find out in the other Crow movies.
There's a murder of crows. There's so many.
Because
I'm sure each one has a crow in it, though.
Yeah.
That brings somebody back from the dead.
The crow is the link between life and death.
Yeah.
The world.
It is about the
Yeah.
Crow.
So is the superhero named the Crow, or is the movie named after the bird that helps him?
That's a great question. I hadn't thought of it. Thought about that crow a lot.
A whole lot.
All through summer
So many-
camp, all my letters were about the crow.
Mother, father, it is cold. The Crow.
The crow is back.
So, Eric, being
Sorry, gentlemen.
Eric, being already dead, is incapable of feeling physical pain or fatigue. He seeks vengeance on his murderers, Tintin, Tom Tom, Top Dollar, Fun Boy, and T-Bird.
Oh, yes.
These
Also known as the Backstreet Boys.
these were names
Banana Boys.
from the comics.
Yes. And they retained these names in the film.
Yeah, Tintin.
And all throughout their musical careers.
We didn't see Tom Tom in the film. I guess he was replaced by
A dog or cat.
Skank.
Oh, I guess they might have thought that Tintin and Tom Tom were too close.
Yeah, maybe.
So Skank was the name that they used instead.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that? You're joining a gang and like, what's my gang name? Skank. Like,
It's like,
aw.
oh, yours is Tom Tom. Well, I'm confused.
Like, can I just be Brick or
Is that
something?
insulting?
Like,
Yeah. Can I be Eyeball? Because I got two
You're Flutters.
flutters.
steak knife. I'm great at coming up
Your
with these
Rainbow
names.
Dash.
So, of course, in the comics, while Eric is seeking vengeance, he is guided by his mystical murder crow.
I love
Crow.
that's my favorite
Your
Beatles.
MMC.
That's my favorite Beatles album.
Magical murder.
Mystery murder.
Murdery crow.
Roll up.
That's an invitation.
When not on the direct path to vengeance, Eric tortures himself with memories of his lost love.
Yeah, it does.
Yep.
All right, so what powers did he have? We know that he doesn't get tired or hurt.
Enhanced strength,
Enhanced strength.
Was he stronger?
enhanced reflexes.
Through the crow, he can see like things happening far away.
So he didn't know how to fight before he was the girl. I know he was in a band, but like
He was very like Christopher Reeve, like Superman, kind of gaining powers that were necessary throughout the movie.
Yeah, but I mean, it was essentially he became a super badass fighty guy.
Yeah.
I see.
But he
He
kind
seems
of
fairly mortal.
he had some
He
like
bleeds even.
E.T. kind of powers.
Oh,
with
so
the-
he's
with the
got
addict.
he's got Wolverine healing stuff.
Yeah,
'Cause
he can heal, and also you can touch your head and
See your-
absorb all the books you've read.
Well, yeah, like see all of your memories and your feelings.
yeah, everything.
It was like
what
yeah,
you want for Christmas.
Yeah, like Meteor Man, except
Yeah.
it lasts longer than
Yeah.
30 seconds.
right.
He,
and it's
uh,
everything you read. You just grab somebody's head.
He did what I assume was enchant a cigarette at one point.
Oh.
So that's like a
Ooh.
weird power.
Yeah.
Like, because what's his face takes it and is like, oh, I'm going to quit. And like, it's like, oh, he must have enchanted it because he lit it for him.
He also absorbs memories from physical objects.
Oh, and he can put memories into other people too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so
he's got-
typical ghost shit.
I guess.
Yeah, that's cool.
This was directed by Alex Proyas, who also this was his first. Well, it was his second movie, but it was his first major film.
Whoa, what was his first?
His first one was a small Australian indie film that I didn't write the or didn't put the name of.
Mad Max. No, that's Miller.
He went on after this to direct Dark City, I, Robot, Knowing, and Gods of Egypt.
Huh.
Yeah.
What was the first one?
Dark City.
I remember Dark City.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I, Robot. Wow.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
Robot
that-
was all right.
That's a weird, and Knowing was fine. Gods
Yeah.
of Egypt was apparently terrible.
Yeah, those
That's
two
the
I
one
don't-
starring Jamie Lannister.
Oh, he directed that one?
Yeah.
I saw that.
Ooh, was it terrible?
It was on HBO.
I heard it was terrible.
It was very bad. But it was fun. You know, I got to watch Jamie Lannister be 12 feet tall.
You got to.
I got
Finally.
He also directed
That was your make-a-wish.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
he directed a bunch of music videos. Most famously, "Don't Dream It's Over" by Crowded House, "Kiss the Dirt" by INXS, and "In Your Eyes" by Drop Bears. Not the "In Your Eyes" by what's his face?
Peter Gabriel.
Peter Gabriel. Yeah.
Drop Bears. That's hilarious. They have to be an Australian band.
Yeah, he's Australian, so yeah.
That's another name for murder koalas, right?
Yes,
exactly. Mystery murder koalas. Crikey.
It was written by two men
And a baby.
And a baby.
and a little lady.
Just two men and a baby in a hotel room, just coked to the gills, writing the crow script. Baby, you got anything?
No, and we're running out of paper.
Like, murder,
Sleep
kid.
again.
It's all about the titties and the murder.
Read me back what Tintin says.
One of those men was named David J. Shao, who also wrote episodes of Freddy's Nightmares, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, Critters 3, Critters 4, and then a bunch of TV shows for some horror anthologies.
Real good at ending a trilogy and reviving a quadrilogy.
Yeah, we had another
Trilogy.
director. I can't remember which, but he had only done sequels. Like you listed like 10 sequels.
It was his writing partner was John. Well, no, not his writing partner. He wrote it, and then they gave it to the other writer to rewrite.
Yeah.
And that was John Shirley. He was mostly wrote novels, and then went on to let's see. He wrote some episodes of Deep Space Nine. He wrote an episode of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
One.
Yeah.
It's always funny when there's one.
Yeah.
They're calling in a substitute.
This is the only movie he
A
wrote.
ringer. Yeah.
This was the one and only movie that he has a writing credit on.
It's not badly written.
No,
Yeah.
it's not terrible.
Less is more in this movie, as
Yeah,
far as the
that's
writing
true.
is concerned.
That's true.
This was starring Brandon Lee as Eric Draven. Brandon Lee is, of course, the son of Bruce Lee, who died at a young age, tragically. Let's see. Brandon Lee started off in Legacy of Rage in 1986, Laser Mission, Showdown in Little Tokyo, Rapid Fire. He was in Kung Fu the Movie, Kung Fu the Next Generation, O'Hara, then The Crow.
And didn't Bruce die
After
under
that, his
similar
career dropped off. Yes. Sorry. Didn't Bruce die?
Yeah, under similar circumstances? It wasn't in an accident?
It was.
I don't remember. I think some infection or something. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Um,
Oh, that's Bob Marley.
There are all kinds of conspiracy theories, though.
he had a cerebral edema.
Oh, that's
So
right.
it was like a blood clot.
Yeah, I see. That's funny. That's a Mandela thing, too.
Yeah.
And there was another man. I thought you were going to say he wasn't related to him because I remember also hearing that.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
funny.
We will get to Brandon Lee's death after we get through the rest of the acting credits.
All right.
Yeah.
Rochelle Davis starred as Sarah. She went on to star in Hell House, Grotesque, the Grindhouse radio TV series, and her most recent movie is called Revenge of the Devil Bat.
It didn't make its point the first time.
No, it's a sequel to a movie from the 50s.
Oh,
Huh.
why not?
Yeah, that's with Sarah.
70-year cycle.
Yeah, weird, huh? the fans were just clamoring for it.
Or to get out of their coffins. It's hard to hear.
I'm not a bat scientist, but it makes sense, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We have Ernie Hudson as Sergeant Albrecht,
Bad scientist.
best known as Winston Zeddemore in the Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah.
He also would star as Warden Leo Glynn in Oz. He was in Leviathan, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, Airheads, The Basketball Diaries, Congo, Miss Congeniality, and he will be in the upcoming Ghostbusters Afterlife.
He was on Grace and Frankie. He was pretty good on that show.
Yeah.
Michael Wincott stars as Top Dollar.
Yeah, that guy.
He's pretty much a bad guy actor extraordinaire. When you look like that, you can only be bad guys.
Yeah, that's true.
He was starred as Guy of Gisborne in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. He was in Strange Days, Alien Resurrection. Bai Ling starred as Micah.
Wait, he was also in my favorite David O. Russell movie, Flirting with Disaster.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's the biker
Oh, okay.
dad.
Michael Wincott was also in one of my favorite movies by Jim Jarmusch, Dead Man, with
Johnny Depp.
with Johnny Depp.
Oh, wow.
He
That's
was
a
one of
great
the
movie.
3 bounty hunters that were following Johnny Depp.
Right on.
So
William Blake was the character. That's right.
Yeah, William Lake.
Bai Ling starred as Micah. She would be seen again in Red Corner, Crank High Voltage, 3 Extremes, Wild Wild West, Anna and the King, Southland Tales, as well as Entourage and Lost. Sophia Shyness starred as Shelley Webster, Brandon Lee's wife in the movie. She released her eponymously titled debut album on Warner Brothers Records in 1992.
I thought you said she was released. Just like from where?
Into the wild.
She murdered someone.
Her first single, The Message, reached number 20 on Billboard's Dance Club Play Chart.
Did she just cover
Oh, wait.
Grandmaster Flash?
The Message.
Oh, Shelley Webster.
Wow.
Yeah, that is a
Sounds
club
like
hit.
We just opened a time capsule from 1992.
Right.
Yeah.
That is a 1992 club hit if I've ever heard one. Number 20.
Strange music to
Right.
start becoming.
She left the music business. I can't imagine why, to pursue a career as an actor and director. After The Crow, she was in Terminal Velocity with Charlie Sheen and Natasha Kinski. She was in Hourglass, opposite C. Thomas Howell. She starred in episodes of The Outer Limits and Valerie 23, Mary 25, and an episode of The Hunger.
Huh.
Anna Levine as Darla.
Oh, I've seen her before.
So, Darla, we've seen in Leonard Part 6, Bird, Talk Radio, Warlock, Unforgiven, True Romance.
True Romance, yeah.
Baby's Day Out.
Oh, Unforgiven, yes.
Bad Boys, Angus. That's the main stuff there.
Yeah.
We got David Patrick Kelly as T-Bird. He got to start in The Warriors.
Oh, shit, that's the guy I was talking about. He was in Flirting with Disaster.
Okay.
Yeah. All
right.
Sorry, go ahead.
He was in Warriors, 48 Hours, Dreamscape, Commando, Cheap Shots, The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, Malcolm X, Crooklyn, Flirting with Disaster, The Funeral, Last Man Standing, K-Pax, Personal Velocity, 3 Portraits. I don't know what that movie is. The Longest Yard, Flags of Our Fathers, John Wick, and John Wick Chapter 2.
Huh.
And in television, Tales from the Dark Side, Miami Vice, Twin Peaks, Mad About You.
Oh, yes.
He was Jerry Horn.
Ben
Twin
and
Peaks.
Jerry, yeah. Gosh, of course.
Third Watch, Law and Order, and Law and Order Criminal Intent.
That's my favorite one.
Gossip Girl, he was in Louie. He was in a bunch of stuff. But we're playing the Law and Order CSI game.
Yeah.
Because it's we've got a lot of
right.
Law and Order and CSI people.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's been on Law and Order. It's insane.
Lawrence Mason starred as Tintin. He was also in True Romance, Hackers, AI, Artificial Intelligence, Behind Enemy Lines, Ali, The Take, Public Enemies, CSI Miami, The Shield, Burn Notice, Prison Break, Prime Suspect.
So I wonder if the Crow author just admired the Tintin comics or something,
Right.
What's intimidating, especially for a large, intimidating looking black gangster character to be Tintin?
Yeah, I
It's
don't know.
I want them to think of a small Swedish kid who's into history. And
Yeah, that's weird.
I'd be intimidated by a small Swedish kid who knows his history.
Did you have
just kick him when his back is turned.
Did you have more on Lawrence Mason?
I did not.
He was in one episode of Gotham and one episode of Daredevil.
Oh.
Which character?
Daredevil, he was Star.
No, in this.
Oh, Tintin.
Oh. What? Yeah. Wasn't the Candyman in this? Wasn't that
Yes.
that guy?
That we're getting there, yes.
Oh, I thought
yes.
we don't think that.
No. We've got a lot more thugs to go.
All right, right on.
Michael Massey is Fun Boy. He was in. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's a lot to live up to.
7, One Fine Day. Lost Highway. Just 7 and One Fine Day.
Yeah. It's like the one before this day was not so hot.
Lost Highway, The Game, Amistad, Corky Romano.
Classic.
Yeah, they're sort of book sister pieces.
We will see him again in Catwoman. And we will see him again.
Corky Romano.
Fun Boy. I'm just saying
See,
words.
it's just as ridiculous as Corky Romano.
We'll see him again in Catwoman. We'll see him again in Underdog.
Yes. Wait, the dog movie?
Yeah.
Underdog, the
Underdog.
superhero dog. He also was in episodes of Law and Order Criminal Intent and CSI New York
He was
and Law and Order LA.
he was also in The Amazing Spider-Man and The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Huh.
Yes.
Those were terrible.
Tony Todd as Grange. This is the Candyman.
Grange.
Grange. LaGrange.
Yeah.
Named
I kept thinking of ZZ Top.
Yeah.
He was in Enemy Territory, Colors, Bird, Lean on Me, Night of the Living Dead, Voodoo Dawn, Candyman, The Rock, Wishmaster, Shadow Builder, The Pandora Project, Butter, Final Destination, CSI Miami, Boston Public, 24, Criminal Minds. Yeah. All the Candyman movies.
He voiced Darkseid for a few DC animated movies. He was in the Orville and practically every Star Trek series in one episode or another.
Cool. Really?
Wow.
Interesting.
John Polito as Gideon, the
Brother Seamus.
who we did see before in The Rocketeer. And of course, he's been in a million things. The Miller's Crossing, Barton Fink, and The Big Lebowski, as well as Homicide: Life on the Street.
Never noticed what an oxymoron that title is.
Homicide: Life on the Street.
Should be dead on the street.
Right. Bill Raymond played Mickey.
Somebody write that down.
His films include 8 Men Out, Michael Clayton, Chud, Quick Change, How I Got Into College, My New Gun, 12 Monkeys, and Dogville.
I feel like we could rearrange all those titles to explain how he got into college. My 12 Monkeys gave a chud to... Anyways.
Marco Rodriguez played Torres, the no-nonsense detective who didn't want Ernie Hudson getting in on his investigation.
Yeah.
He
was even never mind. We'll get there.
Yeah. He had roles in T.J. Hooker, Cobra, Extreme Prejudice, Disorderlies. He was in Next Gen, Another Chance, Maniac Cop 2, Nash Bridges. He was in the English Patient episode of Seinfeld. NYPD Blue, House of Sand and Fog, CSI, Crime Scene Investigators. Hamlet 2.
Yes.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, he was the dad of the... Yeah.
He wasn't in The Fast and the Furious, but he was in Fast and Furious.
Okay.
Is that about like boats?
Just one guy.
So the other day, I was outside taking a break at work, and there was this security guy who didn't see me, who was just kind of like walking around the parking lot on his phone, loudly explaining the entire plot of the entire Fast and Furious franchise to someone on the phone who was going to go see the new movie with him, but had never seen any of the others. Damn. So he was going through everything. And he was
I could use that. Did you record
making sure he was
and he was
up.
like, and then Jason Statham killed him, and everyone was pissed off, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I've never seen any of those movies.
Wow, so he got him
Me
up.
neither.
Got him up to speed. You could say.
Yeah, but he went on for like a solid 15 minutes. And I listened to him anyways.
15 minutes. That should cover it.
So
Marco Rodriguez was also in 4 episodes of Marvel's Inhumans
yes,
as Katang.
Katang. And he played Jesus in El Chicano.
Oh, cool.
He was also once upon
Jesus or Jesus?
Yeah.
I said what I said. He was also in Once a Time in Hollywood
Oh.
as a bartender. I think he served the
Or Pacino's sitting when they first.
Yeah. That rounds out the cast. And that brings us to the untimely death of Brandon Lee. So the film is dedicated to Lee and his fiancée Eliza. So the scene in which Lee was accidentally shot is the scene where he walks into the apartment and discovers his fiancée being beaten and raped by thugs. Michael Massey's character Funboy fires a .44 Magnum Smith & Wesson at him. Now, a previous scene using the same gun had called for inert dummy cartridges fitted with bullets with no powder or primer, but they would have had the bullet itself in there, in the shell.
Okay.
But there was nothing inside to make the bullet fire.
Yeah.
That was because, when you shoot from the front, if there's no bullets in there on a revolver, you can see that.
Right.
It looks empty.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they did that. However, the gun safety expert went home for the day, and it was opened up. So what they did was they took real bullets, which this is common, but usually it's done by a gun safety inspector.
Right.
The prop masters took the bullets, opened them up, emptied all of the primer and powder out, and put them back in. However, they apparently didn't do a good enough job because at one point when he fires, it caused a bullet to slightly come out and get stuck in the barrel. They did not check for this. And then later they put dummy shots in there, which make a bang.
Right.
But there's no bullets, so they don't actually fire anything.
Right.
So when they shot the dummy shot, the
one that was jammed in there?
the one that was jammed in there was expelled and hit randomly in the chest.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the guy that played Fun Boy?
He was the one that actually fired the weapon, yeah.
That's rough.
That sucks for him.
Yeah,
That
man.
Sucks for him bad.
That's got to be heavy, yeah.
This happened with 8 days left to film. This was the only scene left. So they rewrote the scene, and with existing footage and a stunt double, they completed the film.
Man.
So, yeah, that's rough. So we'll be moving on because this podcast isn't generally a bummer. I mean, at least not for those reasons.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the soundtrack. So this soundtrack sold 3.8 million copies.
I remember that being big.
It was huge.
I had a copy.
Yeah.
And I played it incessantly. This was it was 1994. It was right around the time I think a lot of the bands that were on the soundtrack I was aware of, but some of them it was my first introduction to, and all of the songs that were on the soundtrack were not big hits in and of themselves. They weren't like the biggest songs of those bands.
Well, every one of these songs were either written specifically for the movie by the band or were unreleased prior to being on the soundtrack.
Okay.
Interesting.
There were a couple that were covers.
Yes. Yes. So, for instance, Nine Inch Nails covered Dead Souls by Joy Division.
Right.
Yeah.
That was summer of 94?
Springish summer. Yeah.
Okay.
Burn by The Cure, which was written specifically for the film. The Machines of Loving Grace wrote Golgotha Tenement Blues specifically for the film. Big Empty by the Stone Temple Pilots, which went on to be a huge hit for them. That was the single that was released as the video of the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
That wasn't already an STP?
No, that was for the film only.
Yeah.
And the guitar riff on that is really cool.
It really
little
is, yeah.
acoustic guitar.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
The
first album was
it was a pretty good album. Plush.
Yeah.
The Violent Femmes was on that.
I was just going to say the unplugged version of Big Empty was really good.
Oh, okay.
Violent Femmes did Color Me Once. Rage Against the Machine was on here. The Rollins Band covered Ghost Rider by I can't remember who did Ghost Rider originally. Helmet was on here. Pantera. My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult. Jesus and Mary Chain.
Yeah. Wow.
So, it was
Some good bands.
It was this was kind of at the beginning of the era of the movie soundtrack as a collection of songs that everyone had to buy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Singles was another one that did that.
Oh God, yeah. Singles.
Ironically, Wayne's World too.
Oh God, I owned both the Wayne's World soundtracks.
Of course, Dazed and Confused.
Dazed and Confused.
Those were huge.
Yeah. And it would go throughout the 90s.
Ironically, The Big Chill was a good soundtrack.
Yeah.
Stand By Me was a good.
Stand By Me, yeah. All the Batman movies that Joel Schumacher would do. The Matrix later on was a huge one.
But I do remember buying soundtracks often.
Yeah, that was a big thing in the 90s. You'd buy the soundtrack of a movie because it had a bunch of songs by a bunch of different bands.
Yeah, it was a mix already.
At this time in 1994, I was still working at Sonny's Restaurant in Green Valley as a dishwasher, and we would bring in CDs from time to time to listen to in the back while we were washing dishes and cooking and whatnot. And I had this on one day, and the owner came into the back one time, and I believe it was the Violent Femmes Color Me Once that was playing at the time. He was just like, what are we listening to? It sounds like a funeral.
This is crow music. You wouldn't get it.
And this movie was Reviewed by Siskel and Ebert.
The story of The Crow is a pretty straightforward revenge fantasy. The murder man comes back from the grave and goes looking for those who destroyed his life. What's special about the film is its look, its style, and its energy. Director Alex Proyas has put together sort of a cross between Blade Runner and Batman, but darker, grungier, and more threatening than either one of those pictures. And Brandon Lee, in his last performance, shows here that he clearly had the potential to become a major action star.
Well, I don't compare this film favorably to either Blade Runner or Batman. I don't think it's as good as either one of those. And I think it does borrow from Blade Runner in particular, the physical look. And that, I think Blade Runner probably is going to go down in history as one of the most influential art-directed pictures of all time. And I do think that the story is, as you described it, straightforward revenge fantasy. What I do like the comic book camera angles. I do like him. I think he is charismatic, but I can't recommend the picture because the story bored me so much, Roger.
Well, Gene, comic books have stories like this, and I think that this is a very daring attempt to film a comic book.
Yeah.
I think that the whole movie is a piece. For example, all the heavy metal music on the soundtrack is very effective. The look of the film is sensational when the camera is flying over that city, which is made out of miniatures.
For example, I thought that the stories in both the pictures you named were more complicated, both Batman, another comic book story, and also Blade
Runner story was so complicated that even after the director's cut came out, nobody was able to explain it. That isn't the point here, Gene. This movie is an experience. It's not a story. All these stories are made up anyway.
Why did you describe it as a straightforward revenge fantasy? I'm using your own words. Because you know that the story is not...
I wasn't criticizing it. I was describing it as that.
I'm criticizing it because with all of the good looks in the picture, it got very repetitive for me.
You go to see a movie like The Crow in order to have a nice subtle...
No, I go to see a movie like The Crow have some complication of the story so that all that I don't see is the rain, and the visual look of the picture.
Okay, well, I saw more. Coming up next, a baby shower is the catalyst for several women coming to terms with their own baby fever.
What movie was that?
I don't know.
Probably Baby Fever.
Baby Fever, yeah.
Baby's Day In.
Hey everyone, Thoreau from Harmless Phosphorescence here with a message for you. Yes, you listening to me talk. Did you know that the Harmless Entertainment Network has a Patreon? That's right, you can join in and get extra fun like a Star Wars Harmless Phosphorescence miniseries, a patron-only Q&A roundtable episode. We have great bonus episodes of audio dramas like Attention Hellmart Shoppers in 1994. But not only that, if we reach our next patron goal, we'll do a monthly bonus Harmless Phosphorescence about a patron-chosen non-superhero movie. Plus, there are great new shows on the way, and if you're a patron, you'll get to hear them first. Head over to patreon.com/harmlessentertainment today, and for the price of a cup of coffee, you too can join our super awesome superhero club. Now, back to the show. Wow. Yeah, I think that about covers it. Guys, you ready to jump in this thing?
Yeah.
Light it up, fire it up, fire it up, fire it up.
I feel like a little worm on a big fucking hook. This is The Crow.
I'd never seen a Miramax logo like that before. Did yours like sweep over a whole, sort of like Disney's does?
Wow, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, interesting.
Huh.
I remember it being cool looking.
Yeah, flew over New York.
We opened on a title card, October 30th, Devil's Night. It did have some Blade Runner vibes there, especially like at the beginning when everything was on fire and like coming over the city.
Yeah.
Right, like I was saying outside, there's nothing in the dialogue or sets to indicate where or when this is. We know it's Detroit. They refer to that, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Filmmaking wise, yeah, it's in its own world.
Yeah, it doesn't look Detroit like in any way.
But so is Devil's Night a thing?
No, it was made up for.
Obviously not to this extent, but that's maybe another urban legend. I had heard that it was sort of a mischief thing in Detroit area.
Really? Oh wow, I am unaware of that.
But I don't know. All right,
I've heard reference to Devil's Night elsewhere or Mischief Night. I'm not sure where, but it was never a thing.
Well, maybe it was
lived.
Jared. He was from that area. Yeah. Anyways.
So we get a voiceover from Sarah about crows leading people to the land of the dead.
Some people believe.
Yeah, it's like, some people believe a lot of stuff, Sarah.
Yeah, couldn't come up with something specific. Native American legend says, or You know,
Just some people believe.
the Necronomicon.
The Greeks,
Yeah,
maybe.
Some people, it's like, yeah, some people believe the world's flat.
Yeah. Where exactly did you hear about this, Sarah? Because you're not in school. But
Right. I got some questions
she does a lot of skateboarding, nothing else.
in the middle of the rain.
No reading.
Yeah.
No reading.
There's voiceover about crows leading people to land of the dead. We zoom in on the police at the scene of a crime. We meet Sergeant Albrecht. We find out that Shelley Webster has been beaten and raped, and her fiancé Eric Draven lies dead in the street after being stabbed, shot, and thrown out the window.
And it's the night before their wedding night.
Yes, they're going to get married on Halloween.
Who gets married on Halloween?
Some kooky, fun-loving
Nobody.
nobody.
Nobody. That was harsh.
The couple had planned on getting married the following day. As he leaves for the hospital with Shelley, Albrecht meets a young girl, Sarah, who says that she is their friend and that they take care of her. She sees through Albrecht's false comforts and knows that Shelley's going to die.
Yeah. And does he call CPS or anything? He's cool with leaving Sarah
Right?
to her own devices.
They take care of me. What about your parents? Well, I mean, they do too.
No, well, Darla, but that's what I mean. Yeah, it's like the people that took care of me, you're carrying their bodies out. All right, well, you know what? You stay up, love. You're out.
You go skateboard.
I'll catch you on the flip flop.
I'm sure he figured it out because he was eating hot dogs with her a year later.
A year later.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, probably the whole year. It was probably probably got hot dogs together all the time.
There's a lot more to the child social services.
Hot dogs.
A cop and a hot dog stand.
Yeah, buying
Boom.
you a
The
hot
state
dog
takes
every now
care
and
of
then.
people.
Yeah, a lot of deadbeat dads would be like, awesome.
She does.
That's
have
all
a-
I gotta
She
do.
does have a mother.
She does. And I'm sure the cops
That
must-
you would take away.
Well, yeah,
for a
but
child,
I
probably.
mean, maybe they found her on a good day, like waitressing or something.
What I'm saying is the script had no lines such as like, take her to blah, blah, blah. Or
No.
maybe to the hospital or we'll get you something to eat. We'll get you cleaned up. They didn't even give her one of those trauma blankets that everyone gets.
Right, without a trauma blanket. Have you even been comforted?
Exactly.
So we get another title card 1 year later.
No, but I'm sorry. One more thing about the murder. Like one of the cops says to Ernie Hudson, like, we got to move her. Like this has been long enough. It's like, yeah, of course you do. She's still alive. Why
Yeah.
would that even be?
Yeah.
She's not evidence if she's still alive.
No, she's
Get her to the hospital.
Yeah, she should have been moved immediately.
They were waiting for his go ahead.
So Sarah visits Shelley and Eric's graves. A crow taps on the headstone of Eric, and then Sarah skates away. She finds Sergeant Albrecht having a hot dog, and he buys one for her too. Then Eric comes back from the dead and climbs out of his grave. We cut between him.
Totally
After
normal.
a crow was sitting above it.
Yeah. Some people are right,
Some
apparently.
people, that crow didn't have to do shit but show up.
We cut between Eric and a group of young ruffians setting off a bomb in an arcade. They drive away, and Eric clambers through an alley in the rain.
And the closed caption said, tire screeching, rock and roll.
It's like a cone poem. The bomb goes off, and Albrecht runs towards the explosion. Eric makes his way to his old apartment, which is still abandoned.
But the cat's done pretty well for himself.
Right.
It's been a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't even look
Cat's like,
dirty.
go rescue yourself.
Cats are resourceful.
Yeah, they are.
Cat's like, who rescued you?
Exactly.
He has flashbacks of the murders, remembering the faces of those that were responsible, thanks to his new crow memories powers.
And the
Those are good crow memories.
it was the cat who set off the initial memories, right? When he tried to pick up the cat.
Because of his crow powers, he was able to. The cat was at the scene of the crime,
Yeah.
so he was able to. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yes.
He was finally able to get a sketch artist from the cat.
A scratch artist.
Yeah.
We see it's the gang that blew up the arcade. He cuts his hands, but the wounds heal instantly. Meanwhile, the gang's in a bar, drinking, celebrating, wasting bullets, and guaranteeing themselves a very uncomfortable trip to the restroom later.
Diddy Mow. Diddy Mow. Yeah, why would you?
What is that game
I don't
where
know.
you swallow bullets?
It's a whole new take on taking shots.
Right.
taking
a
shots.
shot? I thought it was like it couldn't be Russian roulette, but that's what it reminded me because they're all sitting around the table.
Yeah.
But yeah,
was bad.
It will just pass through you. You might get lead poisoning.
Yeah, I mean,
You might, yeah.
at some point, yeah, it'll pass.
It'll just come through. Yeah, it won't get stuck. But weird.
I mean, it's not going to be fun.
Absolutely not. No, it's definitely on the list of things not to swallow. Not swallow, but beware.
Just wonder what all that metal content would do to you. See us on our other podcast where we do stupid things. Swallow bullets.
We could just tell them we've been doing that all along.
The waitress, we later find out, Sarah's mom asked them to tone it down a little bit. Eric, still in his apartment, flashes back to the happy times when Shelley gets dressed. Then he does some Joker cosplay.
Yeah, he's like, oh, yay, my grease paint survived the fire.
Right.
Just right here at the mirror.
Oh, my cocaine.
Yeah.
Later on,
grease
there's some
paint.
cocaine.
Yeah, there is.
That plate. We cut. Yeah, this is our first R-rated film, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
We have drugs, lots of cursing. We have some breasts.
Hey, so Tintin said a word that I'm not familiar with, and I thought I would ask you guys before I looked it up. What was it? A saprophyte?
Saprophyte?
Is what he calls the crow.
I am unfamiliar with that.
Yeah.
How?
I missed it.
Okay. I'm going to look it up.
Yeah. Well, wait.
I am also unfamiliar with the word.
Do, 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 do,
Put me on the spot.
do, 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 do.
He put himself on the spot.
Right.
Right.
Do, 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 do.
No, it's not coming up.
God damn it, Google.
It wants me to say caliphate, and I know what that is, and that's not what he said.
Ooh, man.
I had the closed caption on, but
Saprophyte. That's so weird.
yeah, he made it up, I guess.
Oh, wait.
Was that in this scene or later on in the movie?
I thought it was here.
Is it that word?
Oh, yeah. Oh, a plant, fungus, or microorganism?
That lives on dead or decaying organic matter.
Huh.
Wow. Tintin.
Yeah.
Look at the big brain on Tintin.
Right.
I took biology 102. I don't know how college works.
Not for Tintin. We don't know how it works.
And look where it took me today.
The head of T-Bird's gang.
No, he's not that.
He's not even that. Employee of the month.
Eric.
He's the knife guy.
Right. Yeah, exactly. We cut to a pawn shop where Tintin is pawning some stolen items. Then he leaves after not getting as much as he wanted. The crow helps Eric locate Tintin through their supernatural crow connection, and Eric confronts and kills him.
Because there's no business like crow business.
I wrote down they struggle and reminisce.
They struggle and reminisce.
Because
Like grappling and remembering.
that's basically what they do.
Yeah.
It's like,
just great.
oh yeah, I remember that girl that I killed. Totally.
Those were some good times. Oh, you stabbed me.
Well, because Devil's Night is his favorite holiday now.
Well, yeah, now. We then visit a club where upstairs we meet Detroit's organized crime kingpin, Top Dollar, and his girlfriend / sister, Micah.
Yeah, that was an odd little
Yeah.
tidbit.
They seem to have gotten a little rough during the threesome.
He kind of looks like Christopher Lambert, the Highlander.
Yeah, I could see that. So that girl was dead, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Which girl?
She looked dead.
The girl
Oh, the one in bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. And then later on, there's a moment when he's in front of the cocaine and talking to his sister where I thought all of a sudden they were vampires.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well,
He
yeah.
said
And
something.
she's like burning eyes, and he's like
Burning
huffing the
eyeballs,
eye
yeah.
fumes.
Right. She said something like, you're drained or you'll be.
Yeah, it was weird.
Well, it's like they were doing some sort of voodoo stuff, but like it was never fully explored what
No.
all that was about.
Nope.
Just eyeball collecting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why isn't his nickname Eyeball?
Nope. Top dollar. I'll give you $top dollar for that, sir.
Yeah, top dollar.
Sarah stops in the bar to see her mom.
Yeah, that woman, they had her like, I didn't know that it was possible to have a low rent Courtney Love. Like, I thought that was where that ended. Right. They were a few feet down.
Yeah, she's now making out with Fun Boy.
Boy, yeah, like it's her job. Well, it might be your job.
To make out with Fun Boy. Yeah, maybe it is. And Eric goes to the pawn shop where Tintin pawns Shelley's engagement ring. Eric forces the owner Gideon to return the ring to him. Meanwhile, the cops find Tintin dead, and Albrecht and the detective exchange words. The crow left behind a calling card in blood on the wall.
I thought it was graffiti.
Back at the pawn shop, Eric trashes the place and blows it up, letting Gideon live, telling him to go warn the other criminals. Before he leaves, he grabs a guitar.
It was kind of cool that he had the shotgun and he poured all of the engagement rings and wedding rings that had been pawned into the shotgun.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what he shot to ignite the gasoline that he had poured all over the pawn shop.
That's pretty cool.
It was a cool shot too, with the blowing up and him walking away from it with the guitar.
That was
that was like a Guns N' Roses kind of move.
that was a big explosion.
Yes,
there were
it
some
was.
cool pyrotechnics. Some of them were animated, but most were not. Yeah. There were some good explosions.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They also, this was the first. Okay, so after Brandon Lee's death, they also used CG to put his face on a stunt man's face.
Yeah.
Which this is the first time that was done.
That was done.
Yeah.
Right before Jurassic Park.
Yes. No, Jurassic Park came out in '93.
Oh, because they did that in Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Wait, who space did they put on who?
They put when the girl falls through the tile, the little DNA tiles.
Oh, it was a stunt person?
It was a stunt person. And they, because she looks up at the camera, real startled. That's like a famous shot of using CGI.
So it was not the first time.
Yeah. So yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Maybe the second time.
Yeah. At the bar, Sarah
It's not a race.
Sarah watches as her mom heads upstairs to a bedroom with Fun Boy. And back at the pawn shop, Albrecht arrives and tries to arrest Eric. Eric drops some hints about who he is, confesses to murder, and then when Albrecht gets distracted by some looters, disappears.
I liked the exchange between them. Albrecht shouts out, "Don't move," and Eric says, "I thought the police always said freeze."
Yeah.
And he says, I am the police, and I say don't move, so if you move, you're dead. And then Eric responds with, "And I say I'm dead, and I move."
Yeah, Albrecht takes all that very well.
Yeah. I liked her.
Walking Dead.
So what was it really that led to him being busted down to beat cop? Was it looking into this murder? Were cops on the take and they didn't want him looking into this? Like, I was a little confused about all that.
Yeah, it's a good question.
That's that was kind of the idea that I gathered from this, but it wasn't necessarily clear. It wasn't stated.
It seemed implied.
Explicitly.
It seems like they probably cut a scene that more clearly stated it.
Well, it could have been that he failed to close this case, or like you said, was looking too closely into the case.
Yeah.
Maybe top dollar.
And it was also
Maybe that's why it's top dollar.
right?
Because it was all about
Pays
real
off
estate.
cops.
It was about real estate. Again, like Top Dollar and something to do with like Top Dollar wanted that building for something. That was also not entirely clear what he wanted to do with
Yeah,
that
but
building.
the burning of any buildings had to go through him because he mentions that the pawn shop was not okayed.
Yeah, but Eric Shelley was like trying to get the tenants to like they were trying to get them to not be evicted.
They were signing a petition. There was tenant relocation mentioned later.
Right, but they initially started with the poor conditions. They were complaining and filing reports and stuff. And so then they went to boot them.
Was Top Dollar their slumlord then?
I guess so.
It's just a shitty landlord.
Top Dollar later said that nothing happens in this town without his say-so.
Yeah.
Wow. That's why Detroit's in such bad shape.
He was behind GM closing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we would like to get fresh water up there, but Top Dollar
says no.
So
he's too busy.
We don't want to get fresh water up there.
He's too busy huffing eyeballs.
So while Albrecht and Eric are still talking, Eric insinuates that he killed Tintin, and later he says they're all dead. They just don't know it yet. They died a year ago when the moment they touched her.
Yes.
It's a badass line.
Yeah, it is. Meanwhile, Top Dollar's huffing the eyes and eating a big plate of cocaine. T-Bird and Grange, Top Dollar's lieutenant, inform him of Tintin's death and the pawn shop being burnt down, and Top Dollar orders them to investigate.
This was where the line from Micah, they're burning the eyeball and like whiffing the fumes, and I think she's reading a fortune from doing so or something, but she says that there are energies lining against you to Top Dollar. So she's sort of doing a soothsaying, fortune-telling kind of thing.
And it's around this time where they have explained that Eric has appeared, and and Top Dollar sort of dismissively says, "Musicians," with a shrug.
Like coming back from the dead, you know how they do.
You know how they do. Guitar players.
Yeah, what? So did Crow at some point bring Jimi Hendrix back to take out his heroin dealer?
Yeah, Crow brought back all those albums Tupac hadn't released yet.
I read that as he just had like a really interesting life, and he knew a bunch of weird ass musicians who had lived weird circumstances, like a musician.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's how it came off exactly.
Yeah,
like
it's
the
just
kooky musicians.
It's like just another weird musician in my life.
And because Eric's band, I guess, did pretty well. Or
they had
at
an
least
album,
had that
yeah.
promo. And they had an album.
Out on the street, Eric saves Sarah from getting hit by a car, and after he says his superhero catchphrase, she realizes who he is. But when she turns around, he's already gone.
What was his catchphrase?
I'm
so dark.
It can't rain all the time.
Oh,
That's his superhero catchphrase.
That's the only thing he says multiple times.
that's
Rain all the time.
That's more cheery
hate
than
Mondays.
Captain America. Yeah, wow.
Can you imagine swinging from the rooftops? It can't rain all the time.
With fucking dramatic makeup on
Mars.
bro. So dark.
At the police station, Albrecht's working on the case of Shelley and Eric's death. Even though he's been busted back down to a beat cop, he realizes that the Crow is Eric.
Well, he's a sergeant, right? He's a sergeant at this point. Was he?
No, he was a sergeant in the first
a
scene
sergeant
a
to
year
begin
ago.
with? Oh, okay.
A year ago, I believe he's a beat cop at this point already.
All right. I thought.
Cop ranks are all made up, anyways.
All right. I thought maybe he was.
They're all made up. Yeah.
Military
You can
ranks
just
are totally
stop respecting
different.
the chain of
Yeah,
command.
military ranks are endowed by nature.
Yeah,
Exactly.
God
Not-
made those.
not
when
the
he created
general
the
and me.
Constitution. Anyways,
Meanwhile, Darla and Funboy are shooting up and having sex.
This is where he. It was the female cop that he was talking to. Tells him that he's going to be. That he's going to end up working a school crosswalk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he keeps pushing this case.
because she stole the record for him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
She came from homicide.
I liked her. She brought a
Yeah.
little something to a character with like 5 lines.
Yeah,
she,
she did.
She clearly missed him. You know, there was like some
Yeah.
camaraderie there. It was cool.
Yeah.
And she says, as she's walking away, she says, "Don't tell me you owe me one."
Yeah.
And then he waits like a couple beats. He's like, "I owe you one."
Yeah. Great. That was great.
This is a tight script.
They cut out the shot where she flipped him off.
Oh.
I see.
No, no.
God damn it, Al. I'm like, what?
I bought that. Yeah.
So they're set upon by Eric, Funboy, and Darla while doing the smack and the sex. And then Funboy tries to shoot the crow, but it doesn't work. So Eric shoots him in the leg. After taking care of Funboy, Eric talks to Darla, making her realize that Sarah needs her to be a good mother. And then he lets her go.
He drains the morphine from her veins.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. That's a
with
crow
his-
power.
with his crow powers. It was weird because
Draining morphine. That's a crow power.
Well, it was more than just draining the morphine from her veins.
That's
He
how you fight the opioid crisis.
he like enchanted her.
he cleaned her up.
Yeah, he
woke
cleaned
her up, she says.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he got her clean without withdrawals and got her motivated to be a good parent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's tight.
So that's like there's a lot to that power. That's not just like dripping the heroin out, because she'd have been like, I'm just gonna get more heroin.
Right, because she gets sick. Yeah,
That's
for
a
sure.
superhero thing he does. That's
Yeah.
not just revenge based.
That's cooler than anything Superman can do for a person besides like save them from a burning building.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. Superman can't cure people of smack.
Yeah, he doesn't have like complex
If he could, he wouldn't
powers.
say, and he wouldn't.
Which
No, he would not.
I know we already talked about his powers, but like it makes me think: can he do other things? Can he like heal cancer kind of thing?
Yeah.
Can he like?
Oh yeah, could he suck the cancer out of people?
Could he like animate somebody? I don't know.
There's just so much we don't crow about him.
Yeah, we'll have to see these other Crow movies to find out.
Figure out what all he can do.
I can't wait.
Downstairs, the pawn shop owner's drinking his troubles. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. When Fun Boy gets shot in the leg, Eric drags him to the shower, puts him in the shower, and like turns it on.
Yeah.
And I thought initially he was putting him in there to like let him bleed out with
Yeah.
the water and whatnot, but that doesn't happen because it leads to.
So Grange sees Darla run away half naked and goes upstairs just in time to see the Crow finish off Fun Boy with a plethora of heroin needles stuck in him. So I guess he just ODs him and then tosses him out the window.
Yeah.
And Eric winks at him as he jumps.
He makes his escape. Yeah.
makes
Very
his escape.
charming.
He
Yeah.
winks at Grange.
Yes. And Grange is like, shit, he's scarier than the Candyman.
Yeah, that was a great moment because he scared the candy man.
Yeah.
Which was what I thought. I was like, oh, fuck, he scared the candy man.
Yeah, because that dude's intense.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. At home, Albrecht is in his underwear when Eric shows up. He explains who he is and why he's back from the dead.
And Eric sneaks up on him and startles him by shouting, "Freeze."
Yeah.
Yes.
Call back to their conversation.
And
And
he
he's
says, "You're
still
not putting
wearing
me
his
in the
hat.
cooler."
He goes, "You're still wearing your hat." Like,
Oh, yeah.
like, oh,
You're
yeah.
right.
Yeah, why was he still wearing his
Because he's
hat?
probably drunk. Because I think
That's
that was
what cops do.
Yeah, they were
Right.
playing
Yeah.
the
Drunk
cops
with their
just
hats
drink
on.
on
Oh,
the job.
boy.
And then just come home and get more drunk.
This scene, there was a weird with Eric. He wavers between casual and playful, and then morose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, back and forth.
Yeah, he does.
And again, just find that he's dead.
Yeah. Albrecht just is, he just accepts that.
Yeah.
Brandon Lee did a good job, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was very
fantastic.
engaging.
Yeah.
Charming.
Yeah, very much so. I think he would have done a lot more.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So Albrecht tells him what he knows about Shelley's death and that he watched as she suffered for 30 hours before dying.
3 hours.
30.
30.
30?
It was 30 hours.
He was there the whole
Then
time.
he makes
too.
that other guy suffer 30 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric touches Albrecht and
I'm usually so good with numbers.
Yeah, it's all right.
Not suffering.
yeah.
There's a lot of magic mystery murder crow.
Eric touches Albrecht and absorbs all of the images of the pain that Shelley felt during those hours. Meanwhile, back at Top Dollar's place, Gideon the pawn shop guy is telling him everything about the Crow. Shit on me. That's his catchphrase. After he spills the beans, Top Dollar kills him.
This is how you do me?
And
I had you over for dinner?
did he kill him out of
Fish
anger
tacos?
because Gideon kept insulting him, calling him crazy and
Yeah, Gideon
a
did have a
psycho?
mouth.
Yeah, I
and
assume
whatnot?
he
He was being very disrespectful, but or did Top Dollar think he was lying about the whole thing with the boy and his bird,
No, I think he believed him. I think he was just annoyed at him.
or he just killed him for fun?
Yeah.
Didn't he just stab him right in the heart too?
Yeah, with a
Yeah, a lot of stabbing. He's not.
with a sword.
Yeah.
Top
He
to
likes
bottom.
swords.
Yeah, he did.
I
And
mean, I
then-
like swords, but I don't like to stab people. But
And then shot him because
That's another podcast.
Have you tried?
after he stabbed him, he said, "Why won't you die?" And then he just shot him.
Yeah.
All right, then, yeah.
But he said it much cooler in his gravelly voice.
Why won't you die?
His long hair.
Yeah, his long, straggly 90s goth hair.
his vampire hair.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
He's like Antonio Banderas in Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah, didn't he have a white puffy shirt on, or am I just seeing that?
I don't.
The pirate shirt.
Yeah.
Michael Wincott was really
He
engaged.
was a low talker.
Michael Wincott was really engaging as a bad guy.
Yeah, it was.
He was- I think this was the first movie that I had seen him in, and
yeah. No, he's
I had an instant villain crush on him. I don't know.
he's
Well,
a
yeah.
yeah. No, he's a great scumbag bad guy.
But yet, not all that sinister, really. You know
No,
what I mean?
he
Like,
plays
he's
it-
definitely a bad guy, but he doesn't come off as a sicko. Like, he seems sort of fun.
Yeah, no, well, yeah.
He's jokey and,
kind of plays
you know,
it casual and
Yeah.
yeah,
he doesn't kill. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
yeah.
He's
No,
discriminate about his murder.
yes.
He's not a supervillain. He's just a crime boss.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. No, he could never be a supervillain.
He
He doesn't have the schooling for it.
Yeah, I don't think it was on the page. I think this guy brought that to it, but that's what I mean. He was kind of a fun bad guy.
Yeah.
He's the kind of villain I could drink a beer with.
Yeah, exactly.
I could huff out an eyeball with him.
Can and have.
I liked his disdain for his goons, or just kind of like accepting that they were just out of control. Just like, all right, whatever, just let them work.
Fuck you. They can't even come up with good names.
Right, Tintin. Back at his burnt out apartment, Eric plays guitar, and Sarah goes home and listens to Eric's album. Meanwhile, T-Bird and Skank are out to have some fun. They stop at a convenience store to pick up some supplies, and while Skank is inside, Eric kidnaps T-Bird in his own car.
Road beer and smokes.
Yep. Road beer.
Road beer, man. Skank steals the car and follows them. They pick up and lose the cops, and Skank arrives just in time to witness Eric kill T-Bird by duct taping him into his car and blowing it up while he drives off a beer.
Was that car a T-Bird? Because it didn't really look like.
I don't think it was a T-Bird.
I didn't
No,
think so.
I think it would have made, if it was a T-Bird, that would have made a lot more
I
sense.
know it was souped up and it had the drag racing engine, but it looked like a sedan of some kind. It was not a sports car.
That was
Well,
a very
well-
90s like action sequence too.
Oh,
the duct
yeah.
tape
Why
and
would you,
everything.
like thinking back to say Cigar Face? It's like, why would your name be T-Bird and you drive around?
Well, he has a bumper sticker that says, "My other car is a
Is a
T-Bird."
So call me that. Or Thunderbird if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
They managed to lose the cops by Skank accidentally coming up that alley and
T-boning.
and getting T-boned by the
right.
cops.
Yeah.
T-bone,
Which was all
T-bird.
an accident. He was driving around that shitty little import car.
Yeah. Cabriolet.
So yeah, Eric lights up a flaming crow sign and walks off into the darkness.
Yo, he flashed me a flaming crow sign. We're going to war.
That's, that takes some doing. Because
Yeah.
he's got to like put it out just right with the gasoline.
He just
Yeah.
carries a bottle with him of like
precise.
lighter fluid.
And
But
he,
then
like,
with a hose that he, so he could make sure the lines are nice and straight.
Oh no, but like, and he gets it wrong. It's like, fuck, it looks like a horse.
I know. If that was me, it would just be a big puddle. Like,
I used to be so good
I
at
didn't
drawing birds
understand
when
the
I was
assignment.
alive.
In flames on.
He wasn't just a musical artist when he was alive.
That's true.
He was a bird drawer.
He was
Renaissance
He
man.
was a giant flaming sign artist.
Put a bird on it.
That's what I remember Eric. He'd always say, "You got something? Put a bird on it."
Murder? Put a bird on it.
Pancakes, bird.
The crow. But I love that we now don't know if he's the crow. If it's
Or
the
if
crow.
the crow is the crow.
The crow is the crow.
The next morning, Grange visits Eric's grave and finds it's empty. Meanwhile, Sarah wakes up to find her mother cooking eggs. At first, she's reluctant to engage, but eventually they begin to talk and repair their strained
They're
relationship.
crow eggs.
Oh, ew. At the police station, Albrecht gets suspended.
Why are those automatically gross?
I don't know. They just sound gross.
You're racist.
Crow eggs are baby souls, man.
Yeah, that.
Chickens are dumb.
That's
Crows
how-
are smart.
That's how they've been.
Well, some people believe chickens carry you
Chickens
into the
actually
kitchen. I don't-
Chickens actually rule the earth.
yeah.
Sarah, yeah. So at the police station, Albrecht gets suspended for not cooperating with the asshole detective. What's his face? That's been giving
Rodriguez?
Is it Rodriguez?
Torres.
Torres.
Rodriguez was the actor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Torres was the character.
He has that distinct face, got the pockmarked
Yeah.
face. Like,
Oh yeah, very much
James
like a
Olmos.
gritty 80s kind
Not
of
Edward James Olmos.
Latino like cop. Yeah.
That's all I could think every time. Not
Yeah.
Edward James almost.
There was an Italian character actor at the same.
Oh. Yeah.
He was a Fratelli.
And they're always a detective with just like we only know their one name. We never know their first name.
Right, and they're mad all the time.
Yeah.
Like Ernie Hudson was on a stretcher at the end. He's still fucking mad at him.
Yeah. God damn it.
It's like, what do I have to do to get mutual respect from a colleague?
We were both detectives at one point, dude.
And I was shot.
Yeah, so Sarah goes to Eric's apartment, tells him that she misses him and Shelley, and Eric tells her that even though they can't be friends anymore, he still cares about her.
They can't be friends anymore?
Because he's dead and has to go back to the dead land with the crow.
Oh, after his...
Yeah.
He's got a deadline.
Haha. Meanwhile...
A deadline. He, so, superhero. All right. Okay, go on. He has a specific mission.
Meanwhile...
He's the super crow.
Meanwhile, Skank goes and tells Top Dollar about what happened to T-Bird.
That's a sentence.
What kind of sentence is that?
And he's all, I guess he's a meth head, they call him? They call him a meth head?
Skank?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas,
They call him a crackhead.
is he crackhead or a meth head?
Crackhead, meth head.
Whereas Top Dollar is classy and only does coke.
Yeah.
And
that's
eyeballs.
right. And eyeballs.
Yeah.
And his sister.
Well, yeah.
The sweetest drug of all.
Incest.
Taboo.
When Pornhub comes out, this is going to be so cool.
Yeah, it is.
Both of your parents are dead. No one cares.
That is a search category.
Sorry, guys.
But Skank is talking all fast.
Just crow.
Top Dollar says we should videotape this and play it back in slow motion.
That
Yeah.
was funny.
Right,
Yeah.
because he was tweaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good line.
Yeah. Top Dollar and Grange figure out that Eric's out for revenge and against
Not just a run-of-the-mill murder crow ghost.
against the thugs that killed him and Shelley. They decide they better take Eric out. Meanwhile, Albrecht and Sarah meet at the hot dog stand and discuss Eric, who is pulling a Pete Townsend up on the roof. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was like, why do you got to smash it up, man?
Because it's rock and roll. What was the cook in the diner doing before the little... Oh, was he making his hot dog?
Probably.
I thought he was working on something and they were having a conversation about it.
He was writing his novel.
Like at the beginning or at this point?
No, at this... Never mind. I guess not.
Throughout the entire movie?
No,
Like,
the scene where he
going
buys
home,
Sarah
he
a
was
hot
like-
dog, isn't that this scene?
No, that was the scene at the beginning.
That was at the beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah, shit.
The whole movie is actually about the hot
Well,
dog.
what do you
And,
crow?
we follow him. He's in the background picking up his daughter from school.
Yeah, I've written all kinds of things.
In
Crow. A pretty regular Sunday.
in this hot dog shop scene, Sarah's already there and she has Gabriel the cat with her. And Albrecht comes up and asks, does he like his hot dog with or without onions? Which was another running gag.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Onions make you fart.
Yeah. Like, oh.
Onions make you fart, yeah.
Wah, wah.
That's why I eat an onion a day, folks.
Gabriel was an archangel. He was the herald of God, the messenger.
And he owned a pawn shop.
No, that's
Oh,
Gideon.
that's Gideon.
Gabriel's
Gideon
the
owned the
cat.
pawn shop.
Oh,
Gabriel
that's
was the
right.
cat.
Eric owns
Shit,
the
that's
cat.
right.
Gabriel. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Top Dollar's holding a meeting with his associates. They discuss new plans for their Devil's Night criminal activities. Top Dollar wants them to have the best Devil's Night ever.
Guys,
Top Dollar he's upset because I guess the city of Detroit has accepted Devil's Night and they've created Devil's Night greeting cards.
Yeah.
it's just gotten so commercial.
Yeah.
Was he,
In a
was he
year.
upset?
It used to be about the arson, man.
Yeah, that is his attitude.
Like it sold out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking lame.
So it's kind of like the purge.
Yeah, well, yeah, kind of.
So now it's sanctioned.
Eric arrives looking for Skank. Top Dollar refuses to give him up, and he has his men unload their guns into Eric.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to imagine a Devil's Night greeting card. It's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Hope you don't get burned.
Sorry, I burned down your house.
Yeah.
Have a flaming hot Devil's Night.
I am going to kidnap your children.
All right.
Whoa.
Just like the Purge movies, like I know they say that it doesn't count, but yeah, the next day has got to be the most interesting for all these different people.
Yeah,
It's like, well,
for
back to normal. But you did murder some people.
Right?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'll send a card.
Those people are homeless now.
Yeah. Well, I sent them a Devil's Night card.
It doesn't count.
But you're supposed to send them on the 29th to give them a heads up.
Yeah.
I'm going to fuck you up. Happy Devil's Night.
We're coming to burn down your house. See you soon.
We'll be there sometime between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m.
Love, Grandpa.
Please don't leave. Please don't leave.
No,
And make sure your dogs are up.
Oh my god.
Let them sleep.
Do you
Like
think they
the
just
cable
like
guy.
open all of the like senior homes?
Let them run free.
Yeah. Well, some people believe.
That old people.
All right. We'll carry a spirit across the river Styx.
All right. So yeah, Eric doesn't die after they shoot him a bunch.
Okay, so there was a henchman with glasses on, and he looked down the table to see if he had been shot. He's the one that's like, he's not here.
Yeah.
Was that Guy Pearce?
I didn't. I do.
He
I
had
have
sunglasses
no
on,
idea.
but it looked just like him. But I didn't see his name in the credits.
Wow. Yeah. I would assume not then, because I mean he did have a speaking line, so he should have had a credit.
Oh, you're right, 'cause
whoever
he
it
did
was.
say
yeah.
something, yeah.
Yeah.
But I looked down a lot.
We all do.
You felt that character.
We all do.
I watched half this movie while I was driving.
I had a lot of crow feelings.
So
I hope you were looking up a lot.
No, I didn't. So yeah, no, I
let a crow
I
guide him.
listened to this movie while I was driving.
This movie's so dark. It's not like it's gonna like stop you from seeing.
Well,
that.
he had a GPC, a
got a lot of
global
movies to
positioning crow. that helped you know. Jeez.
Boo, it's gross.
So
You don't crow how it feels.
so Eric kills most of the thugs. Top Dollar, Micah, and Grange escape. Then he finally gets his hands on Skank and kills him. The police show up and Eric flees to the rooftop. He's chased by a copter, but Albrecht picks him up and he gets away. While driving, Top Dollar laments that the city isn't in flames, and Micah realizes they can make Eric vulnerable by killing the crow. Eric returns to his grave to go back to being dead.
There was a scene when they were talking about how it sold out, but Micah goes, "I like the pretty lights," and then everyone laughs, and she looks really hurt. Like, why are they laughing?
Like, you motherfuckers.
They took the time to shoot, back to her, and she's like, "Oh, I do like the lights."
Like, you guys don't understand me.
You guys think you're so cool.
This is why I have to sleep with my brother.
Yeah, this is why. You guys are a bunch of jerks.
He's the only one who burns eyes with me.
You said you would, Skank, and then you didn't show up. You didn't send me a Devil's Night card.
Skink.
My name is Skank.
Eric's at his grave when Sarah shows up to say goodbye to him, and he gives her Shelley's engagement ring. As she's leaving the graveyard, she's abducted by Grange, who takes her into the church where Top Dollar and Micah are waiting. Through his crow vision, Eric sees what's happened. And
That's another power.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Seeing eye crow.
It's very Game of Thrones.
Ooh, let this crow in.
Caw.
Exactly. Just flying down hallways.
Shoot that fucking crow.
Yeah, I know. I think it's the crow.
Grange shoots the crow as it flies into the church, making Eric lose his invincibility. Micah grabs a wounded crow, intending to take its mystical power. Top Dollar confronts and wounds the now vulnerable Eric, who collapses. Top Dollar's about to kill him when Albrecht arrives, guns blazing. Top Dollar grabs Sarah and climbs the bell tower as a fight ensues, and Albrecht kills Grange. The crow escapes Micah's grip, claws her eyes, and sends her down the bell tower to her death.
That was cool.
Yeah.
And I don't know, poetic, justified.
Oh, yeah.
She was all about the eyes
Right.
the whole time, and yeah, she was gonna kill the crow, and he just backs her eyes.
But it
out.
would have been cool if the camera zoomed in on the crow and the crow cocked a gun and was like, "Never more, bitches." The crow needed a badass line.
Yeah, it's true.
Who played the crow?
Edgar Allan Poe.
It was character actress Margot Martindale.
The crow.
So then Top Dollar reveals he ordered the hit on Eric and Shelley. In their fight, Eric uses his crow touch to give Top Dollar the 30 hours of pain he absorbed from Albrecht.
Crow touch. I love that we've given them Batman-esque names. Just
The Crow Touch.
the Crow touch. like an infomercial. Oh no. Crow milk from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. No.
God.
That's Charlie's energy drink that he made.
The sensation disorients Top Dollar, who falls over the roof of the church to his death.
So this is the second. It was Top Dollar. First, it was Skank, who Skank was thrown out the window and killed, and then Top Dollar falls to his death. So that's two of the 5 people that he killed that fell in a manner that Eric himself died.
Oh,
Fun Boy also was thrown out the window, although he may have died from the heroin first.
Yeah.
The Fun Boy wasn't thrown out the window,
Wasn't he?
No, he died on the floor in his apartment.
I thought he
Not
threw
in
him
the
out.
tub?
I thought he threw him out the window afterwards.
No, he just left him there. Grange found him just on the floor gurgling, and he died.
Okay. That's a weird memory I have. That is wrong.
But you're right, it happened more than once, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm just thinking of Skank.
Give them a taste of their own.
You were probably driving.
It was hard to type
yeah. I was looking out the window. The rain was
at
drizzling.
crows.
I was just thinking of Skank. Sometimes I do.
I like Skank is a battlefield. Top Dollar dies, Sarah, then
It was
accompanies.
very unceremonious of you.
Yeah.
Top Dollar, yeah, the villain.
Yeah, he falls over the roof of the church to his death after being given the 30 hours of pain by the crow touch.
Yeah, that's when I thought of he brought a knife to a crow fight. just took the crow touch.
And he dies impaled on the churchyard fence.
Yes.
Yeah.
They should really cap that off in case people fall off the roof.
My doctor says I'm not supposed to fall off church roofs.
My eye.
That's why I wear this protective headgear.
Sarah accompanies Albrecht to the hospital, and Eric returns to the graveyard where he goes back to being dead and is reunited with Shelley.
Did he get shot, Albrecht?
He
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he got shot.
He
at
did
some
get
point.
shot.
Yeah, because
I think
he's on the stretcher and that other cop's
by
like,
Grange, I think.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
It's a flesh
As he
wound.
killed him, he got shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
at one point in the movie, Ernie Hudson says he's not a ghost. That was fun.
Well, if anyone would know.
Right, exactly. Just trap Brandon Lee in one of the containment units.
So that's The Crow.
Oh, the last line, I didn't catch the whole thing. It was again Sarah doing monologue over whatever was going on, but she says, "Buildings burn, people die, but real love is forever."
Yeah.
Some people think.
Some people.
Some people believe that.
Some people believe
Oh, and it stopped raining.
that it's all about the
Oh, yeah.
crows.
Yeah.
Oh, it did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, stopped raining at the end.
Because it can't rain all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
And
arson is easily thwarted.
the hot dog vendor plot is conveniently closed up, tied up,
Yeah. Yes.
Finally. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. Saw a couple good credits floating around there. Crow voice design. And
Was it a couple of famous comedians like they do for the Star Wars movies
it
now?
was just, it was just one guy. And Crow Vision Lens by this guy's name. Crow Vision Lens.
Crow. See, even they call it Crow Vision.
I think you're right. I think the crow refers to the crow.
Were either of those people Tom Servo?
That would have been good.
Oh, man.
Crow.
What if it was that? If it was Crow. From MST.
Crow.
The Crow, performed by Tom Servo.
He's like a caw.
They were just up in Mesa with Joel, like doing it live.
I saw them in Milwaukee with Joel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was
Shit.
really good. It was.
I would like to
it
see
was,
Joel
It was
Hutch.
Joel and Mike.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I like Mike too.
it was fun.
I actually like Jonah as well.
So
Oh yeah, Jonah's good.
is this movie better than Swamp Thing?
Oh shit, we gotta rank it.
Oh shit! Is it better than Swamp Thing?
This is the first time I've thought that.
This, you know what? You know, that's just going to be how I rank all movies in the future.
Right. Is this better or worse than
Swamp Thing?
But Oscar worthy, I don't care. Is it better or worse than Swamp Thing?
All right. Well, so yes, I think as a movie,
Yeah.
these are all as a movie. But it doesn't seem dated. It doesn't seem
No,
overly
not at all.
90s. It doesn't seem ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I know Meteor Man was supposed to be goofy, but like even the powers, they're like, okay, Crow Touch. They're not over the top cheesy.
No, and it
Serves the plot.
yeah, and it's a very, very competently crafted, stylish, interesting film.
Yeah, the dialogue, there isn't a lot, like we said, but it is interesting. Some of the shit T-Bird says is very interesting. And he's reading from that, old text and
Yeah.
Yeah,
whatever else tagline about the devil.
Yeah, like I feel like the
The
worst
amount of
character was
goodness.
Skank. And
Yeah, really, he was the most cartoonish.
yeah.
So I think it is a better movie than Swamp Thing, but yeah, do we like it more?
So that would insinuate that it is also better than Superman 2 and The Rocketeer and Darkman?
Well, because clearly Swamp Thing is better than those movies.
That's what I said that recently.
According to
it's
our
starting to
ranking.
get confusing.
According to our ranking, yes.
It's starting
This
to get
Swamp Thing debacle has
unreasonably-
really fucked us up.
I'm here to atone for my sins.
Yeah.
I
All
don't.
right, so let's
We
see.
got to start somewhere.
But we are not allowed to retroactively move the movie,
Oh, we're not.
aren't we? I don't know.
No, you're right. We shouldn't. It's better than The Rocketeer, yes.
Is it better than Superman 2?
No.
I mean, I
Is
think
it better
so.
than Darkman?
I think this is better than Superman 2.
Oh, we said The Rocketeer was better than Darkman.
Yeah, we did.
We said that.
I mean,
Well, because I would say this is on par with Darkman. Like, I wouldn't say it's better or worse. It kind of reminds me. But you're right. We put Rocketeer.
Yeah.
Rocketeer was bright and superhero-y. Maybe that's
this
why.
movie gave me certain feelings that other movies didn't. Just like I experienced this movie differently, I think.
Yeah.
This is a better experience.
Oh yeah, than a lot of these movies.
Well, should we stay or should we crow?
I want to put it above Swamp Thing.
How do we want to put it above Batman 66, which is just above Swamp Thing?
It's so dark though.
And it's the anti-Batman.
But it has so
66.
many labels, like, Crow Touch, Crow Sight.
Crow Vision.
We created those.
I know.
No, not Crow
Why are we
Sight.
creating all this?
Crow Vision. That's
I mean, do you have to log the list after every week?
We should remaster this movie and put like actual labels.
Little badges on everything.
Everything. This is the Crow Cat.
all right.
Yeah, it's better than Batman 66, right?
I don't think it's better than Batman Returns, which is what is above 66.
No, it's not better than that.
I could say it's better than Batman 66. I could say that.
Yeah, I said that.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to put it higher than Batman Returns?
No.
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 Brian's thinking about it.
I'm thinking about it because that movie was not great.
I probably
but-
won't watch this again. I know we have to watch other Crows, but you know what I mean? I will definitely watch Batman Returns again in my life. I don't know if I'll watch The Crow again.
I'll probably watch this again.
There's a possibility I'd watch it again someday, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not taking a stand, but yeah. As far as ranking, this is not a rewatch for me.
So where would that be if that was above Batman 66?
It'd be at number 4.
The Crow would be at number 4.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I gotta go to the bathroom.
I think of what I mean, other than like maybe I feel like Rocketeer and Darkman are too low and Swamp Thing's too high. I'm kind of
You take
cool
that
with
back.
area.
I love Swamp Thing.
And it's really good high.
Those tubers.
That guy grows great plants.
Holy shit, just to give it a number. What do you think?
All right, we want to put it above Batman 66.
Yeah, let's do it.
What is this? The Iowa Caucus?
Yeah, I know. I'm feeling crazy.
All right, The Crow goes above Batman 66 at number 4.
If you agree or disagree, let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
Tweet, Facebook,
Tell us how much you like Swamp
Patreon.
Thing.
Instagram, Patreon. We have a Discord if you're a Patreon member.
You could mail us $1.
Smoke
with
signals.
a message on it. Don't do that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you could.
yeah, 'cause
General
that would
post.
mean you have one of our addresses. So,
I don't know how social media
unless
works.
you're related to us, then don't do that.
I don't have social media.
Or do.
I sent it to you on the Facebook.
And make it more than
You
$1.
didn't get it?
So next week, guys, we are going
We got crows to support.
to be watching The Shadow.
Oh yeah, remember?
So many those.
Remember? Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say that last week we were commenting on The Meteor Man, but then I saw the list and it was The Meteor Man, The Crow, The Shadow, The Mask, and then Blank Man. But yeah, there's just this string of
Right.
something.
And like giving something indicates there are others, you know, in which we brought up during Meteor Man. Like there were other people that had meteor powers. But yeah, it's funny. Like, no, I'm the Mask.
Well, yeah, no, because usually it's like a one-word thing when it's the something.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not the something man usually.
The Super Crow Man.
Super Crow Man. Yeah, so next week, 1994's The Shadow, we'll be taking a look at.
Alec Baldwin.
Starring Sir Alec Baldwin.
Oh, wow.
So that'll
He
be
took
interesting.
that instead of, I know there were a few years difference, but Batman, he was offered Batman.
Yeah.
And so he took the Shadow thinking like he didn't want to mess up again.
Batman was big. The Shadow's bound to be.
Right, that was his thing.
Yeah. People really did not understand what made movies popular.
Well, and this one, I've listened to another podcast about the Shadow on how did this get made, and yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun with his powers. There are some ridiculous
Ooh boy,
fucking powers.
looking forward to
Sweet.
that. All right, well, thank you for listening, everybody, and watching too. Whatever you're watching, thanks for that.
Keep watching the road, folks.
Right. Thank you for listening. This is Mime from Hell, Thoreau Smiley.
I'm Josh CC, and just say Crow.
I'm Brian Lesh, and until next time, you can find me playing guitar solos up on my rooftop.
I'm Alaric Weber. I like the pretty lights.
Thanks, everybody. Bye. Light it up. Harmless Phosphorescence was brought to you by executive producer Atticus Burkett, producers Michael Beckwith, Jojo Birchtree, Hedda Paulson, Kirsten Reed and Alyssa Dent, and Katie and Finn Thorpe. Make sure to rate and review us on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. Harmless Phosphorescence is a part of the Harmless Entertainment Network. Become a patron at patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. Thank you for listening.